If you still believe Israel's ever-growing land theft agenda is or will be restricted to Palestine, well, you would be very wrong. Even prior to the creation of Israel on occupied Palestinian land in 1948, the founding father of Zionist fanaticism, Theodor Herzl, had made it crystal clear, quote, "Greater Israel would be a Jewish state stretching from the brook of Egypt to the Euphrates." As the Tel Aviv regime presses ahead with a Nazi-style campaign of genocide in Gaza and a bloody war in Lebanon, remarks by several Israeli officials about the so-called Greater Israel Project have sharply angered the Arab and Muslim nations of West Asia region. Let's take a look at the ambitious Israeli land grab plot in a nutshell. Recently, an Israeli occupation soldier was photographed wearing a uniform patch depicting a map of Greater Israel during aggressions in Gaza, reigniting controversy on social media platforms in Arab countries. The desired map of Israel on the badge encompasses not only the Palestinian territories in their entirety, but also vast swaths of territory from neighboring countries, including Jordan, Lebanon, parts of Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt. That's actually what Zionism, which is a fabricated diversion of Judaism, considers as the land promised to the Jews in the Torah. This is while numerous historical and religious studies have demonstrated the falsehood of those claims and distorted interpretations. This interpretation by Zionists has been the subject of controversy since the creation of the Israeli entity in 1948. Zionists see the Greater Israel scheme as the realization of a religious prophecy. Opponents of apartheid, however, believe the project is reminiscent of historical imperial ambitions. Comparisons have also been drawn with Nazi Germany's concept of living space for the chosen race. Despite all the criticism and condemnations of Israel's expansionism, the regime's officials have never shied away from giving publicity to their shameful land grab agenda. In a recent interview, far-right Israeli Minister of Finance Bezalel Smotrich claimed that Israel would expand little by little and eventually encompass all Palestinian territories as well as Jordan, Lebanon, Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia. He had earlier drawn criticism around the world by claiming that there is no such thing as the Palestinian people and that the Palestinian nation was invented only 100 years ago. The likes of Smotrich have openly supported the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people, which they believe, like Herzl, that the more Palestinian deaths, the more pieces of land would go under Israel's occupation. Since October last year, when Israel began the bloodshed in Gaza, there have been increasing calls within Prime Minister Netanyahu's far-right cabinet for an occupation of Gaza, blocking of aid to the territory, relocation of Zionist settlers to Gaza, and even the occupation of Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. Besides attacks on Lebanon, this could indicate that Israel is pursuing goals well beyond Palestine. Observers share the opinion that the Israeli regime's actions revolve around an expansionist project that disregards borders and thrives on the passivity of the international community and the silence of Arab countries that have opted for normalization, wrongly believing that this will shield them from the Zionist regime's aggression. The stark truth is that American-supported Zionism has expanded its sight to include every Arab territory, and that the US-backed Greater Middle East agenda is essentially synonymous with the notion of a Greater Israel. This strategy, recently endorsed by President Biden, a self-proclaimed Zionist, is unquestionably upheld by the American objective to hold a firm foothold in the resource-rich West Asia. For the moment, it seems the steadfast resistance movement put up by Iran and other actors of the anti-Israeli resistance axis in the region has worked effectively to block the realization of Israel's illusions. However, Arab and Muslim countries, especially those whose names are seen on Israel's desired map, need to exercise more vigilance at this critical juncture.